Imagine you are at a British pub sipping a pint and suddenly you hear a familiar voice booming from the TV. It's Nigel Farage, grinning widely, Union Jack socks clearly visible, proclaiming that he's about to reset British politics again. You might roll your eyes thinking, didn't we already do this Brexit thing? But the reality is, Farage is back, louder and more influential than ever, forcing another seismic shift in Britain's political landscape. And this time, he might just succeed in what the first Brexit failed to fully achieve, taking back control over borders, laws, and even the national conversation itself. But to understand how Farage is pulling this off, we have to revisit the scene of his latest triumph, the recent local elections. Reform UK, Farage's current political home, didn't just perform well, they shattered expectations. The party secured an astonishing 677 council seats, flipping 10 entire councils to secure majority control, capturing 2 prominent mayoral positions and even winning a crucial parliamentary by-election seat, with Sarah Poaching edging victory by a mere 6 votes. Talk about drama. And meanwhile, the Tories and Labour parties didn't just lose, they imploded. The Conservatives lost around 2/3 of their contested seats, dropping 674 seats and keeping just 319. Labour didn't fare any better, losing 187 seats and clinging to just 98. And even the Liberal Democrats and Greens capitalised on this chaos, making substantial gains. Yet it was Reform UK's surge that truly sent shockwaves through Westminster. This result wasn't just surprising, it was transformative. According to the BBC, Reform UK now polls nationally at around 30%. Labour languishes at about 20%, with the Tories slipping further down to 15%. Farage himself probably couldn't have imagined such dramatic success, chuckling openly about his party's new status as Britain's political earthquake. The key question is, why are British voters flocking to Farage once again? David Frost, former chief Brexit negotiator, points out that voters are desperate for genuine change, one they've been repeatedly promised, yet consistently denied by the major parties. He describes a profound disillusionment among British voters, a sense that neither Labour nor Conservatives genuinely represent their interests. Indeed, polls consistently show rising voter disenchantment and anger over perceived government failures on immigration, the cost of living crisis, and a perceived erosion of British sovereignty. Farage, never one to miss an opportunity, seized upon this widespread dissatisfaction. His messaging has been crystal clear. The Tories, he argues, have betrayed their voters repeatedly. Despite Boris Johnson's overwhelming victory in 2019 with promises to fully deliver Brexit, Farage argues the reality fell painfully short. Farage highlights continuing high immigration rates, especially illegal and semi-legal forms like student visas, as proof that Brexit promises remain unfulfilled. He's also critical of moderate conservative figures, arguing they sabotage tougher migration policies and diluted Brexit. Moreover, Farage has cunningly capitalized on other widespread frustrations. His stance against net zero policies has resonated powerfully in local councils, especially in former Tory strongholds like Lincolnshire. Here, former party chairman Richard Tice declared outright war against green investors, promising severe financial repercussions if they proceeded with unpopular climate-related projects. And Reform UK's new mayor, Andrea Jenkins, now leads Lincolnshire with a clear anti-net zero mandate. For voters feeling economically squeezed, these policies strike a deeply sympathetic chord, But Farage isn't just recycling old arguments. He's strategically repositioning his party to capture traditionally Labour-supporting regions. And shockingly, he's even started advocating for the renationalisation of critical industries like steel and water, once considered political suicide for right-wing politicians. And his newfound populism taps directly into voter nostalgia for economic security and national pride, positioning Reform UK not just as a right-wing party, but a populist force generously addressing working-class concerns. And still Farage remains polarising. Adored by supporters for his straight talk, he's equally reviled by critics who see him as a cynical millionaire masquerading as a man of the people. Guardian writer John Grace calls Farage a millionaire who thinks he's been ignored by the establishment, highlighting the paradox at the core of his appeal. Indeed, Farage's success partly rests on his talent for channeling genuine voter anger while artfully masking his elite status. And this populist tactic closely mirrors Donald Trump's playbook, another wealthy political outsider who managed to portray himself as an underdog. Farage similarly presents himself as a victim of establishment politics, a role he has carefully cultivated over decades in British politics. Yet behind this charming grin lies a ruthless political operator, keenly aware of how to exploit voter anger to advance his political agenda. But is Reform UK's success sustainable? Doubters point out that Farage's populist approach, while successful in opposition, might struggle when faced with the responsibilities of governance. Voters who flock to Farage in anger could just as quickly turn away if practical solutions aren't delivered. Yet, Farage remains undeterred, convinced his party's momentum is just beginning. And as Britain braces for regional elections in Wales and Scotland next year, Farage sees another significant opportunity. Reform UK plans to solidify its position further, potentially becoming Wales' leading party. Such a development would represent a profound political realignment, redefining Britain's political geography yet again. Labour and Conservatives, meanwhile, are scrambling to respond. Labour leader Keir Starmer faces intense internal pressure to recapture lost territory, particularly among working-class voters who felt neglected. However, Labour's stance on sensitive issues like migration continues to alienate many traditional supporters. The Tories face an existential crisis, with party chair Kemi Badenoch openly acknowledging the disastrous election results but rejecting calls to pivot further rightward. And Farage sees these developments as vindication. He argues that the Conservative Party has outlived its usefulness, describing it bluntly as finished. And Labour, he argues, is too entrenched and ideologically rigid to respond effectively. In Farage's view, Britain's two-party dominance is collapsing, opening unprecedented opportunities for his party to reshape British politics permanently. Nigel Farage has long claimed that he speaks directly from the heart of ordinary Britons, and his style, folksy yet provocative, humorous yet confrontational, has undeniably reshaped Britain's political landscape. His blunt rhetoric on immigration, national sovereignty, and economic protectionism resonates deeply in a Britain fatigued by political promises that seldom deliver tangible results. And whether you admire him or despise him, one fact remains undeniable. Nigel Farage is once again at the center of Britain's political storm. He's pushing Britain towards another dramatic political reset, potentially even more disruptive than the original Brexit. This time the stakes are even higher, with the future shape of Britain's political institutions and national identity up for grabs. So is Farage's political earthquake just another short-lived populist tremor, or the beginning of a deeper, lasting transformation? One thing is clear: British politics will never be quite the same again. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us here at Outside Views as we follow this fascinating and pivotal chapter in Britain's unfolding political drama. Thanks for watching, and the next video is right here in the end screen.